Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and it's 4:02 a.m. in the morning. It is Tuesday morning, June 28th, 2022. How you all doing? I hope you all doing well. Yes, I woke up some minutes ago. At least could have been like an hour. Yeah, I feel very awake right now. Uh, got a lot of rest yesterday. Stayed in. Yeah. What I want to talk about today. Um, wow. What I want to talk about. I want to talk about life and death. About what happens in life and death. Some experiences I had. It's more really like paranormal stuff, or supernatural. Those questions, that you're curious about. I'm prompted to do this video this morning. I was just listening to a YouTube video about someone having a near-death experience. And they were out in a field and they fell and um, got hurt really badly. And when they had fallen, their soul left their body and they went to another realm. And they were showed things. They were, um, they asked themselves questions if they were a good person and this and that. And, they did good things, but then they had done other things that were problematic. And he was told to go back and get things corrected, like giving them a second chance. And this video will be based on those premises as I listen to it. So, um, I'm curious about people who I've never had I never had a near-death experience, but I've had experiences that seemed reminiscent of some of the people who say that they've seen things um, when they were injured and had a near-death experience, an NDE. So that's what I want to talk about. Again, I never had a near-death experience, and um, just thoughts that I have in my mind with the experience that I had. Well, I do believe there are mysteries out there, real mysteries out there, and I'm wondering what's behind all that. Many years ago, I lived away. I lived overseas. I was alone. I lived alone, and I started church life um, for the first time, really for the first time, consistently. I was introduced to Christianity in my early 20s and would listen to Bible radio, things like that, back in the day, many, many years ago. And that pretty much was it. It was interesting listening to, hearing good things, and that's pretty much what my Christianity was like. I mean, I did get baptized, water baptism, and I had just got out of the military. I did some Bible study in the military, on the ship that I was on, and they, discussion. I was just, uh, just kind of sit on in with the talk. But when I went to the West Indies, it was the West Indies I moved to. That was the first time that I actively, actually went to a church building, you know, a very simple life. Work, go home, eat my meal, take a shower, go to sleep, get up, go to work, just that cycle. And then on Sunday, I'd go to church. It was a friendly church, very family oriented. It had a lot of, you know, young families. And I like that. I like that very much. Again, I was new on the island, and I would say I was anxious about, finding, oh, this was really early on. I had some anxieties. Um, I was still adjusting, finding a place, a permanent place. And so that's where my mind was at. I did have the job. I think at that time it was a contract assignment until my permanent position came through. I think that could have been it. And I had anxiety, where I'm going to live, what if this job falls through? So, yes, I was there alone and had those concerns that I think anyone would have, being a single woman, feeling vulnerable. So that could have been the element behind it, and why I had the dream. Um, yeah, it was an interesting dream. I went to sleep, and then I had this very bizarre dream. And at that time, it was the first ever having a dream like that. And I still don't really fully understand why. I mean, yes, I had new challenges. I was by myself, but I had challenges back in the mainland, the United States. Had a lot of worries. So I don't understand why I didn't have anything like that then. But either way, I um, I was in a field, an open field, with other young women. They look very, very young. Look like in their teens, teenagers, or early 20s, very young. They were all white females, and they're all wearing white too, like a white, like like a lightweight um, material. You know, I don't think it was floor length. I think it was like up to their knee, the length of the dress. Yeah, I think it was simple, like a simple white. Like in the movie Knowing. Those of you who've seen that movie, Knowing, and at the very end, the children were wearing white. They were running to the what looked like a tree of life. Just a simple dress like that. And we're in a circle, a large circle. And I think that, they were like swaying or dancing, and I was amongst them. I didn't look at myself, but I was in the midst of all these people. I'm a black woman, and I was part of this group, but I'm not a white person like these, all of these women, young women, ladies. Well, one thing I feel like I was a part of them. I didn't feel disconnected. I felt like I was part of this group. I mean, like swaying or doing something. I forget if there was a pole in the center of the circle. I forget. they have these things like there's a pole in the center and there's threads. No, no, there was no threads. That's right. There was no thread. Like there's this thing that you dance around and you thread this pole with the like ribbons. No, that there was no ribbons. But I don't know why I asked myself if it was a pole in the center. But either way, we were, in this peripheral together, a large circle. It was a large number. Let's see. It seemed like a large number of young women. Yeah, I think over 30, because it's a big circle. And and there was a guy too. There was a guy, and I think he was the center of it. I know at one point he was a focal of my attention. He was wearing white also. I did not see his face, but I know I saw his body. He too was wearing like a white outfit, white robe or something, right? A white garment, just simple. And the game was that they were to take a sheet, a white sheet, and throw it up in the air. It'd be open. And then you went, before the sheet falls down to the ground, you will lie under it. You'll race under the sheet and have the sheet go on top of you, rest on top of you. And then they were to walk on our stomach. I know it sounds very bizarre, and it was the first time I ever had a dream like this. Um, and it was my turn. I think we all went under at once, but I remember when I went in, I saw his feet, and it was supposed to be in honor of him walking on top of our bellies. And that's when I know now the term, the chakra. My solar plexus got activated. It was like a turning. You could feel it turning, the solar plexus area like a wheel. Again, I didn't know about um, solar plexus, or what do you call it? Um, what do you call that thing again? I just mentioned the word. you know, um, with the energies in the body. Yeah, chakras. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, chakras. I didn't know about chakra things back then. This is early in my life. But it started churning. When he walked on the stomach, that's when it was churning. That's how I interpreted it. I saw his feet, and I think I was praising God or something. I might even been saying that, thank you, Jesus. I might even been saying something like that. And then I woke up. And um, and then I had another dream. I'm pretty sure there were two separate dreams, two separate occasions, but they were so close together as I could remember it. Yeah, the same state of mind I was in back then. It was a lot of things happening. Um, but it was the second dream that was really, really telling. Um, everything it was an outdoor scene, and I was in some type of field, and there was a red pickup truck. Again, I'm a urban girl from New York City, and I didn't know anything about trucks, but it was a red pickup truck, and I climbed in on the back. With trucks they have that open back, and I remember climbing in, and then lying down on my back, and I saw the sky. The sky was extra, extra blue. Everything was an intense, vibrant color. Very, very bright, brilliant, very intense. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. And I said to myself in the dream, I said to myself, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going somewhere. And I felt at peace. And then I got up and I was just so excited. So I was just bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. Oh, my little doggy. What up? What up, baby? You behaving yourself? Mommy's doing a video, my little doggy. How you doing? You okay? He's right next to me. Yeah, I have the door open so I know they can go out. What's up? Let me just check. What's up, baby? What's up? Sorry. Sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, everything was, brilliant colors, just intense, very, didn't look real. It was so intense. Green. The trees were extra green, the sky extra blue, and this red truck, pickup truck. But I had a sense of that everything was going to be okay. And I got up and feeling really enthusiastic, and I was just bubbling over. And yeah, I was. This was in my early church days at that specific church, and I even called someone. I woke up early in the morning, and to call up one of the church ladies there. I said, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just had this dream. Blah 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 blah. He said, okay. I'll when we get when we when you get to church, we'll talk then. Yeah, she was asleep. She was nice about it. And I get to church. It was just a typical service. We had to sing songs. I wasn't into singing songs. And I was holding a hymn book and I was sharing my book with this person, this man, very tall guy. And I started shaking in my body. I didn't understand what was happening. I said, So I think I might even changed hands and to hold the book with the other hand, and then I started really shaking. Well, I had, I guess, a kundalini, it's something. My tummy, the solar plexus started churning and churning that wheel. Just like during the first dream I had about this character that what we would call a Jesus type character. Again, I didn't see his face, but I just saw his feet. He had pale feet. But I think it was a Caucasian looking fellow, just like the ladies I was with were all white people, Caucasian. And that when he stepped on my solar plexus area, that thing was churning, that wheel was churning, and it felt wonderful. And so in the second dream, I mean after that second dream, and then my entering the church and we were singing, I couldn't care less about the song. I mean, I'm being honest. It was just one of those hymns, and you just sing along, whatever. But my body started to respond, was shaking, and then the wheel in my that solar plexus started moving faster and faster. Honey, I had to put that book down. Yeah, I think I started to holler. I had to control myself. This never happened to me before. I felt like ecstasy. Honey, I was in ecstasy at that point. And you feel like screaming the top of your lungs because you feel so good. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. So, what does this have to do with life and death thing? Well, here I was very much alive, but experiencing something that some people who say that they experience, mystical event, um, but I was experiencing it. And interesting that this Jesus like character. Now, I know Jesus is not a European, but yet there was this man, Jesus type character, and walking on, who were those young ladies? What was this world? Where was this world I was participating in this dream? That's the question. So, why this narrative of this Jesus like character? Because um, I was told that the whole event in the Jesus, the New Testament, was something. There were stories that was taken from older books, older scriptures from other traditions, and it's just repeating those older stories. So there wasn't anyone they claim, about 2,000 years ago by the name of Jesus or Yeshua. His name was Yeshua, not Jesus, but either way. So who was this character and why were they white? Why was I with these white young ladies? Why were we in a circle? Why all this? Why did I have this type of ecstasy in this? And I never had any type of experience like this before. Never at this time. I was just I was in my 20s, experienced this life on in a culture I've never been in, never been to that place. It was very interesting. But what is this whole thing when we die, or if we have a religious experience? Why did that happen? Why did it show me this man? Jesus was not a European type person. That part of the world is not, green grass and things like that. It was like a forest type. We were out in the field. And this place where the alleged Jesus lived was a desert. This looked like more of a modern place that you find in a temperate zone like the US, parts of Europe, you know? Yeah. And the type of people, well, people, people of European background. Where are these people? It felt real. I felt it in my body. Why was it responding such? Why? I asked myself. Where do we really go when we sleep? So in some tradition they say sleep is really you're 1/3 away from death. The sleep world. Your body is at such a low, at the edge. Why did I have this experience? What was the significance? Yeah, I did. I lasted on that island for about 3.5 years. I'm glad I left. But the religious experience, what is all this about? And why did it need to show me these type of people? And not people that look like me. It's like it's showing you things that it feel that you're comfortable seeing with. And there was something else like that you're comfortable seeing certain things So that's what they show you. Oh yeah, that like the dream I had yesterday. The dream someone I was out in but some type of shallow water, had rocks and everything, and I was with these people, men, and none of them looked like me. The life form that I have now, as a black woman, but I'm not with other black people. But yet I'm in this thing, and there was a man in shallow water. He was drowning, and I pulled him out. Yeah, the he you could tell he was very young, like in his 30s, I think. Very strong looking body, very good looking guy. And I was to take him out of the water. There were other people around. I said, hey, this guy, I saw him moving. He's moving his head side to side. He's trying to get air. But yet he's submerged under shallow water. The water was very transparent. I could see him. He was changing colors. So I pulled him up. And as I said in the dream yesterday regarding that man drowning, um, I just blew in his face. I didn't have any contact, other than lifting him out of the water. I didn't otherwise touch anything up, but I blew in his face to try to encourage him to breathe, like for him to like cough up the water, whatever, and stop breathing because he was still alive. So, but yeah, why did they show me that type of guy, those type of people? And I realized that they think that's what I want to see. They show you things that you want to see. My life at one time was always very centered around those type of people, and never really people that look like me. And I think, you know, living in the United States, if you live in certain communities or certain social economics, you're going to be surrounded by certain types of people. And you almost start to think that you're one of them until you get that rude awakening. Yeah, I'm not one of them. And that was evident in certain things that happened in my life. But still, why does the system show you certain types of people? Why do people, like you have people who are what they call experiencers? They see like beings from other planets. What do you call it? They call themselves the Nordics, or I should say, people call them the Nordics because they're very pale and light color hair. And I'm thinking the same thing. They want to show you what you learned in your society, what is so-called trustworthy, who you can trust. Trying to make it. Yeah, my device is echoing. It has like an echo sound. Oh yes, thank you, viewer. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. But yeah, so it's like there is some type of world system that controls what you dream, and they still show you in this dream world things that you could, what people look like, certain people. And I see these type of people are safe people. But as we see in America today, that certain people are not good people. Like it's making it synonymous that if you see that it's a Caucasian person, a Nordic looking person, that they're safe. So it's like a narrative that's even being taught in our dream world. What if I was born in Africa, black Africa, and no white people around? What would I be seeing? People, if there's anybody out there from Africa, or you live in a community that there's just people that look like you, people of color, or let's say you're from Asia, East Asia or South Asia, and you weren't exposed to white people, and let's say you had a mystical experience, are the people that you see Caucasians or white people? Or are they people that look like you? Please let me know. This is very important to me in this spiritual journey that I'm on. Yeah, those dreams that I had, the Jesus like character in the dream that walked on my solar plexus, the other dream that I was in the middle of nowhere, in a open field, and everything was vibrant in color, and I was on the back of a pickup truck, red pickup truck, and I laid on my back and said, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. And in church that day, when I went to church that day after that dream with the pickup truck, my whole body turned alive, and every inch of my body was in ecstasy, and that chakra in the solar plexus was turning, and it was extremely pleasurable, very orgasmic. I've never had something like that before. Again, I don't do drugs, don't drink, don't smoke. Very clean lifestyle back then. I was in my 20s. What was that all about? Interesting that years later, like 10 years after that dream, I would be in a tropical place, vibrant color, and a red pickup truck that I would have. So I don't know whether partially it was prophetic, but interesting that it was a red pickup truck. I'm a city girl. We don't have trucks down here. But yeah, later on in life, when I moved to another place, 10 years later, I did have a truck like that, you know. Uh, and I didn't stay that long in that place. I only lasted, that second place, uh, almost 3 years. Yeah. So, what is this all about, people? This other world, this dream world, what is it? And why do we see what we see? Why do we see these type of people? Why don't we see other types of people in these mystical dreams? Why are people talking about these other type of people? Even in they say that they were abducted by aliens, or put on board a ship and stuff, but they're never people that look like them. You know, if you're a black person or a Chinese looking person or a Native American looking person, they're always that one type. So I'm wondering, are we being targeted down here? This powers at large. My little doggy's trying to get my attention. Why is that? The little Shih Tzu. Yeah, I see you. You hear her? She's making little noise to get my attention. I see her. I see you. But this is very important, people. Wait a minute, let me just get her. Wait a minute. You want to come to bed? Come here. You okay? Uh, okay. Yeah, my little peanut. Sorry. Yeah, I just put her on the bed. Maybe she just wanted to be nearer to. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's curled up in a little ball now. Okay. But yeah, people, this is very important. We could be tampered with by certain types of people with high technology. Oh, I see the sky's starting to change. You can't really tell on the monitor here, but yeah, you can see the sky getting brighter and brighter. You can see the clouds, and the birds are singing. It's about 4:36 in the morning. Oh, it's beautiful. This time of day, it's always really beautiful. Yeah, I don't want to stay on too long, but yeah, this is very important, people. Why do we see what we see? These mystical experiences, these beings that are talking to you. And why do they show you who they show you? It's like these are the only people that exist. What about places, are there darker skinned people? Are there, what about these other types of people? Why is it always these Euro type people? A Euro type Jesus I saw. Jesus lived in the Middle East, ancient Middle East, and they're very dark. And I've met people. I met what we call a Palestinian. He was very black skinned. I thought he was from India. And he said, "No, I'm a Palestinian." And he was a proud Palestinian. He said, "I'm a Palestinian." He thought I was an Ethiopian. So I think he asked me to what he was. Says, "Oh, I couldn't care." Yeah, this was going way back. Yeah, in this neighborhood that I live in. Yeah. Why people? Why do you see who you see? You're a black person, or let's say you're an African. Let's say in your neighborhood, there's no white people. How many African people have near-death experiences? I mean, that place, there's a lot of what it is in certain parts of Africa and Asia and in the Americas. What do you see? Do you get visitations? Do you have near-death experiences where you live? What beings do you see? Do you see a Jesus-like character? Is your Jesus-like character a European type person? See, this is telling me we are probably hooked up to something, some type of matrix. That's what I'm getting at. We are hooked up. And they have us believe in certain types of things. They want us to see certain types of people because they want us to believe in those type of people. I remember at one point I was having nightmares, and guess who the nightmare people were? Black people, black men in particular. Why is that? Why was that? I'm a black person. Why do they want me afraid of my own? Why is that? Yeah, I was like 19 years old, teenager. And then one day, I had that recurring nightmare about being chased by these 5% type dudes. And I was running, 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 running. And then one day, I turned around. I said, "Why are you chasing me?" But when I turned around and asked that question, who was before me was a little child, a little black boy, maybe 5, 6 years old, crying. And then I woke up, and I never had that dream again. Never. What was that all about? Something was going on. It was a very profound, I never forgot that dream. What was that all about? People crying for help, crying out. They weren't trying to hurt me. These men, these 5% of the time. They were actually children crying. It was one child. Why did it change it like that? It's a whole bunch of young men chasing me. And then when I turned around to face it, I said, "Why are you chasing me?" There was only one person there, a little child, crying. And then I woke up. Why do we have the type of dreams that we have? Some of our Jesus to wake us up. Definitely, definitely, like that one. And so in this modern times now, I look around and I see all these hurting people, these hurting men. These men are hurting themselves. This is like 40 years later, and nothing improved in this social, uh, this society I live in. Yeah. And so, fast forward, I do my meditate. Yeah, I didn't know about meditations back then. I just started doing meditations for the first time in 2014. I think it was April 2014. Amazing. The things that I see now. Why do I see what I see? And what I see is evolving. Initially, there were um, geometric shapes and their colors. And then it graduated to, I saw this property, and I saw plants. And now I see nature. I see wildlife. Sometimes the latest wildlife I saw were this flock of birds. And the birds aren't from here. I'm seeing those birds. They were like they were all white, and a long, like a long slim bird. It was a long slim bird, bigger than we call it bigger than a pigeon, little bigger, but it was slim, very very slim, very thin bird, not bony, but it just was streamlined. The bird. It was bigger than smaller than a seagull. I know it was smaller than a seagull. Bigger than a, I'm not, I don't know birds. It was a white bird, and it was a flock of them. And I saw that in about 2 weeks ago. And I saw other wildlife. Another bird. It was like a size of a sparrow, and it had like a turquoise blue neck, like a collar of turquoise blue around his neck. Super clear. I did contact someone, a bird specialist, but they still haven't gotten in contact with me. Um, yeah, some things people, I didn't explain why. I just said, I like to know if you, know what type of bird this was. Yeah, see, I want to try to um, qualify what I see if it exists in real life. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing things in these exotic places. Yeah, I believe these, I don't believe it's here in the U.S., at least those white birds. I've never seen those here. I believe it's some tropical, I believe it's a place like Africa. I believe it's in a place like that. I don't know. I don't know, people. But yes, our brains are able to connect. Yeah, I get the best results when I do my early morning meditation. That means immediately after awakening from dreaming or sleeping, I keep my eyes closed and do my meditation then. And I get really good results. Really, really good results. So I'm tapping into something. And yes, this brain of ours are like receptors. And I truly wonder what's really going on, and truly wonder why, if you're a person of color, why do we see what we see? Yeah, I had meditations and I saw people, white people. Only once did I see a black person. The only person of color was an African lady. Looked like what I would call an African lady. You know, how she had her hair, very beautiful face. Just saw the face up, and she was in distress. Yeah. Only to see again anytime you see a black person. I quite. Her lips look very familiar. A little different than mine. Her lips are slightly fuller, And yeah, I just felt maybe she was an ancestor. That's what I felt. That this was a direct ancestor of mine. Wow. If so, what an honor to be a part of her. Yes, you could tell she was a nice person. She looked like you know, despite her distress, she was a young woman, very young, but mature minded, and she was witnessing something. This mind is something, and we're able to tap into different things. Whether I don't know whether we're tapping into things of the future. Some of us claim future something, you know. Is it parallel universe? Is it something that's occurring now? I do not know. I do not know. So yes, so this life and death, what could happen when we have a near-death experience. Again, I never had a near-death experience, but I experienced something. See, it seems like the near-death experience, when the body goes through a trauma, there's physical trauma and there's also mental trauma, stress. When I was living abroad, and those two dreams, the Jesus-like dream, even though Jesus is not a European, and I'm in this circle with all these young white girls. This is what I experienced, people. It was wild. And I had a Kundalini experience. My solar plexus got activated twice. Amazing, amazing experience. Again, I didn't know about uh, that type of, what do you call it, the Hindu, that thing where they had the Kundalini thing. Never, didn't know anything about that. But I expect, yeah, so it's teaching me you cannot know about something but experience it, people. You don't have to know about something to experience it. I experienced those things. Why does it show you? Why do you experience what you experience? Someone is tapping into me. Something. Yeah, other things happened to me on that island. I heard an audible voice when I was trying. Yeah, I had a car back then. I heard an audible voice while I was driving. Something spiritual. It was very brief, and I got really excited. It was very profound. And basically, it was saying that, you walk through life, not knowing what's ahead of you, and you're going to have these curves in the road. On that island, there's a lot of curved roads. um, and you don't know what's around the curve, but you keep on going. So this is what life is about. You just keep on going, even during those curved spots, something like that. It was like, boom. It was so profound, extremely profound. And it was an audible sound, but it wasn't like in my ear or in my head. It was in my being where I heard it. I never had that experience again. But I've had experience where something in my ear when I was sleeping. This year I had that experience. And that incident in the restaurant that I told you guys about, I got targeted in the restaurant by I think an EMF, electromagnetic frequency, microwave instrument that they can target. Yeah, because what all the symptoms I had after. Yeah, and I heard that inside my head, inside the center of my brain. Yeah, so you may hear things, but different things could give different sensations audible, of things that are audible. You don't hear or audio the same way. Like when you're talking, the audible sounds different than someone. talking outside of you, like someone approaches you and talks to you. It's different sensations. Because I guess there's different sensories in your body that's being activated for you to hear it the way you do. I like to get to a point when I do my morning meditations that I'm able to hear the audio. I don't hear any audio. I just see the visuals. Sometimes it's very super clear, and many times it's very faint. Yeah. Why do you see what you see, people? Why do you, yeah, why do you see those people? This is a big planet, and so the chances are, you know, just statistics alone, the chances for you to see certain types of people because their number is small on the planet. Most people are people of color. But why do you have experiences with these European Jesus like characters and other supernatural events or people who are abducted by the Nordics? See, they want you to trust in those people and be afraid of yourself. Yeah, this is a wake up call. Very interesting, very interesting. As sometimes when I'm talking, I'm thinking out loud to myself and analyzing what I experience or analyzing my own thoughts. Why do we see what we see? Well, there are people out there who want you to believe in them and who are orchestrating the matrix and want you to believe in certain people and not your own. They don't want you to trust your own, love your own. I think it's by design. But it's crunching in, down on these other people, this planet, these industrialized nations. Things are going to happen to them. I think quickly, yeah. They're going to fall also. Yeah, the system is collapsing on itself. It is. And this is not wishful thinking. This is not like me trying to curse anybody. I'm just calling what I sense. Look what's happening in the government. Look what's going on. It's imploding on itself. The system is imploding on itself. So, I'm just looking at the time here. I didn't want to stay too long. Because I want to take a shower or something. Take a quick shower. Yeah, I stayed in for a couple of days. My body's like sore. I had walked, stayed out for like 5 hours pushing that stroller, boy. And, your body starts, I'm not a spring chicken. Your body starts to feel it. It takes longer for your body to recuperate. It does. It does take time. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Ask yourself, do me a favor. Ask yourself these questions. When you have those mystical dreams, who do you see? Do you see someone that looks like you or someone, that European type person? Or if you were abducted, were you abducted by those Nordics? Why are you seeing only certain people? Most people on this planet are people of color. Why don't you see them? Just a simple question. So I thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video, this live stream. And those of you who like this content and like to think, you may wish to, consider and support my ministry. I shouldn't say ministry, but support my channel. And you could go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right of the banner, you will find my PayPal Me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated, and I am appreciating you in advance. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your words of encouragement. Peace, love, joy, and power be unto you. Let's start thinking, people. Okay? Take care and enjoy your day. Until next time, soon. Bye bye.